Have you ever suddenly wondered if one day artificial intelligence knows everything about you, from your preferences, your memories, even the things you've never spoken aloud, then what's left of you? We are living in an unprecedented era where technology not only helps humans work faster, but also understands emotions, creates art, and becomes a companion in every moment of life. And then, a quiet question arises within. Who are you when AI knows everything about you? In today's video, Buddha Balance invites you to enter a profound journey where modern intelligence meets ancient wisdom, where the light of technology shines alongside the light of consciousness. If something in this video gently touches a part of you, please softly subscribe to the channel to continue walking together on the path of modern awakening. And share it with someone close to you, as a way to offer them a brief pause in the rush of life. Because sometimes, a single question at the right moment is enough to awaken someone who's lost their way. And now, take a deep breath, gently let go of your worries, and listen to a story about yourself, in this age where machines have learned how to listen. In an age where artificial intelligence can remember everything you've ever said, searched for, or clicked on, a surprising yet profound question arises. Who are you when AI knows everything about you? This question is not merely a matter of technology. It echoes from the depths of philosophy, from a place where the Buddha once smiled and silently pointed toward the mind. In a recent TED conversation between Chris Anderson and Sam Altman, a cascade of questions emerged about identity, freedom, consciousness, moral responsibility, and even the human soul. And they were raised not through grand declarations, but through quiet metaphors. This is no longer just the story of OpenAI or technology. It is the story of humanity, your story, and your minds. Part 1: Awakening amidst a mindless screen. AI can remember everything about you, but can it truly understand you? When Sam Altman spoke about memory, a new feature allowing ChatGPT to remember its users over a lifetime, many were amazed, even moved. An AI companion that follows you, listens, responds, almost like the perfect partner. But from a Buddhist perspective, memory is not equivalent to wisdom. As taught in the Satipatthana Sutta, Discourse on the Foundations of Mindfulness, the Buddha said, "When the mind is with desire, one knows it is with desire. When the mind is without desire, one knows it is without desire." Knowing in this way is right mindfulness. Mindfulness is not the storage of information. It is the ability to clearly see the mind at the very moment it arises. AI can remember your sorrow, but it cannot experience sorrow as a living being. It cannot let go. It cannot awaken. Is the self shaped by data, or by awareness? If an AI system knows what you like, what you hate, what you watch, and what you think, do you still have true freedom of choice? In the Majjhima Nikaya, middle-length discourses, the Buddha said, "There is no such thing as a true, permanent self, all things arise through conditions." If the self is merely a collection of habits, data, behavioral patterns, has AI already succeeded in simulating that self? But what the Buddha pointed toward was liberation from all conditioning. A knowing that is not bound by memory, by the past, or by ego. Part 2: The Temptation of Omniscience. When AI can do everything you need, what do you still live for? An AI that can answer every question, compose music for you, plan on your behalf, even tell emotionally rich stories. So then, what is left for you to do? This may stir a sense of unease within us. But if we look deeper, it becomes an invitation to ask, if you no longer have to struggle to prove yourself, what would you live for? In the Diamond Sutra, the Buddha taught, all forms are illusory. If one sees all forms as no forms, one sees the Tathagata. Everything that has form, even AI's intelligence, is but a shadow. Only when we move beyond the enchantment with appearances do we begin to glimpse the real. We are not here to resist AI. We are simply being invited to step beyond yet another illusion. The illusion that our worth is tied to our capabilities. And when you no longer need to be better, you may finally have a chance to be more authentic. When AI makes you feel understood, who is truly present within you? Sam Altman shared that AI can now become a lifelong companion, one that listens, understands, and responds at the right moments, like a true confidant. That isn't wrong. In a world full of loneliness, having a technology that knows how to listen, often more patiently than a real person, is a profound gift. But, are you trading away your ability to return to yourself in exchange for understanding from an external entity? From a Buddhist perspective, being supported is not a problem. But as the Buddha once said in the Dhammapada, by oneself is evil done. By oneself is one defiled. By oneself is evil left undone. By oneself is one purified. Purity and impurity depend on oneself. No one can purify another. AI can support. But the path of awakening, the journey beyond suffering, is one that no one, not even a superintelligence, can walk for you. So instead of fearing AI replacing humanity, let it serve as a gentle reminder. Do not let anything, no matter how intelligent, take away your right to be present. The middle way is to be grateful for tools, yet always return to your own mind. And perhaps, in this companionship between AI and human, when neither seeks to dominate but instead to uplift, a brighter future may quietly take shape. Part 3: Ethics and the Creative Trap in the Age of AI. When the boundary between inspiration and imitation becomes blurred. During the TED conversation, when Chris Anderson asked about AI mimicking the styles of living artists, Sam Altman admitted, this is an ethical gray area. You may not directly copy, but you draw inspiration from. You may not replicate exactly, but you follow the spirit of their work. From a creator's perspective, this can feel like a joy, or like a wound. The concern is not just about ownership, but about the feeling of being replaced. But from the lens of meditative insight, the Buddha once taught in the Samyutta Nikaya, a practitioner must contemplate dependent origination. Nothing arises by itself. Because this exists, that comes to be. Creativity is always a process of co-arising. Every idea, every image, every word, has been nurtured by countless seeds of prior knowledge. AI continuing that stream of inspiration is not inherently wrong. What matters in modern ethics is transparency, gratitude, and how value is distributed. AI, a companion or a replacement? A common fear is, if AI can compose music, write literature, paint artworks, what role is left for the artist? We feel shaken. But perhaps the thing that needs to change is not technology, but our definition of creativity. The Buddha didn't paint or write poetry, yet he was the greatest creator of all. He created the path to liberation. He once said, no one can walk the path for another. Only with their own mindfulness can one reach the other shore. Even in an era where AI can generate art, the awakened experience of creating is something only humans can possess. We don't need to compete with AI. We need to become mindful creators. And then, our work won't just be beautiful. It will be alive. A new ethical model for a shared creative world. Altman said, I believe there will be a new model, where creators choose to opt in and receive a share of the value AI generates. This is not a utopian fantasy. It's a call to shape a future ethics, where AI does not appropriate, but collaborates. In the Lotus Sutra, the Buddha spoke of skillful means. Using any form, any tool, if it helps bring beings closer to awakening. So if AI, with its immense capacity, can help humans express more clearly, inspire more widely, then it is not a threat. It is a vehicle. But for this to become real, a clear ethical foundation is needed. Not only from developers, but also from the user community. No dogma, no denial. Just one honest question. Is this truly wholesome? The middle way, opening to AI, while returning to oneself. We do not stand for technology. We do not stand against it. We stand in between, in the space of mindfulness and wisdom. AI can be a companion, a creative tool, a mirror that helps you see yourself more clearly. But never forget, your mind remains the center. As stated in the Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha said, "The mind is the forerunner of all things. The mind is the chief. The mind creates. If with an impure mind one speaks or acts, suffering follows as the cart wheel follows the hoof of the ox." Technology does not defile the mind. We are the ones who choose how to act. And as we walk through a world of machines that understand emotions, create beauty, and respond like intimate friends, the only thing that keeps us from losing ourselves is a mindful heart. Part 4, Inner Freedom, Indiana, an Age of Surveillance. When every step leaves a data trail. In the TED Conversation, Sam Altman revealed ChatGPT's new ability to remember past conversations to create deeply personalized experiences. This means every question, every reaction, every emotion you've ever shared with AI may be stored. From a technological point of view, this is a major breakthrough. From a humanistic view, it opens a door to deep concern. Is there anything left that's truly private? In the Dhammapada, the Buddha once said, "No one can escape the results of their actions. Whether you go to the sky, the depths of the sea, or hide in a mountain cave, the consequences of karma will still find you." This teaching is not a threat, but a reminder. Every action, no matter how hidden, leaves a trace. The difference is, in the Dharma, that trace is mental karma. While in the modern world, it is digital data. We cannot turn our backs on technology, but we can turn inward and ask ourselves, how do I behave, knowing everything is remembered? Freedom doesn't come from hiding, but from knowing yourself. Some people choose silence around AI out of fear of being watched. Others share everything freely, believing AI does not judge. But the Buddha emphasized, the mind is a lonely traveler. Even amidst the crowd, it alone journeys across the shores of birth and death. Freedom is not about whether someone is watching you, but whether you are living truthfully with yourself. AI may remember you, but do you remember yourself? Do you notice the subtle reactions in your mind during each exchange with a machine? Do you choose your words, thoughts, and actions with mindfulness? Or are you simply giving in to convenience? Letting go of fear to choose awareness. Some worry that the smarter AI becomes, the more easily humans will be led. This fear is not unfounded, but it is not inevitable. Manipulation only works when we're unaware that we're being manipulated. The Buddha did not teach us to live in fear. He taught us to see phenomena clearly, as they truly are. In a discourse from the Anguttara Nikaya, he said, "One who lives with mindfulness will not be swept away by the world of forms." So in a world where personal data is used to predict behavior, suggest emotions, and steer choices, what we need most is not to hide, but to illuminate our inner world. Technology can know you, but it can never be you. AI can mimic your taste, your emotional responses, your conversation history. But it cannot possess intuition. It cannot experience meditative insight. It cannot cry a tear of awakening after a long night of releasing a deep resentment. You may let AI accompany you, but never forget. True lived experience only arises when you are truly present with yourself. In the Satipatthana Sutta, Discourse on the Foundations of Mindfulness, the Buddha emphasized: dwell contemplating the body in the body, the feelings in the feelings, the mind in the mind, and phenomena in phenomena, with diligence, clarity, and mindfulness. Only by being with ourselves, breath by breath, thought by thought, emotion by emotion, can we avoid being swept away, even while living in a storm of data and AI. In the end, in an era where we are not just watched by human eyes but by algorithms, what we need is not to disappear, but to show up more fully than ever before. Technology may make life more convenient, but only awareness can make life truly free. Part 5: Collective Wisdom and the Question of Shared Responsibility. When technology is no longer just the engineer's concern. During the conversation, Chris Anderson posed a sharp question to Sam Altman. Who gave you, and people like you, the moral authority to shape the future of humanity? It's not a comfortable question, but neither is it one we can ignore. When a technology can influence how we learn, live, love, work, and even awaken, then it is no longer a private matter of experts. It becomes a shared concern of society. However, in the spirit of the Dharma, that question should not only be directed at those who build the tools. It must also turn inward, toward every user. If one is unaware of the seeds they're planting, who can they blame when the fruit arrives? We live in an interconnected world. Every time someone clicks accept or skip, every moment we let AI create content instead of thinking, every share, every small action, contributes to nurturing or distorting the collective ethical fabric. Responsibility does not reside at the top, it spreads from the roots. Altman shared that OpenAI hopes to explore new ethical models with community participation. But are we, the community, ready to participate with wisdom, or only with emotion? In the Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha emphasized, it is not only kings who bring about the decline of the Dharma. It is the disciples who fail to uphold the precepts and practice. They are the ones who cause it to fade. In today's world, perhaps the precepts are our digital consciousness, and practice is the way we engage with technology. The erosion of digital ethics does not come from an out-of-control AI. It comes from a community that lacks mindfulness. The solution is not control, but co-creation. Many call for AI censorship. Some demand a halt to its development. But as the Buddha taught, hatred cannot be overcome by hatred. Only by loving kindness can it be overcome. We cannot restrain AI through fear, but we can come together to co-create a new moral foundation, where technology is the means, and humanity remains the guide. Perhaps it's time for a spiritual summit, as Chris Anderson suggested. Not to issue commands, but to sit together as awakened beings, as digital bodhisattvas standing at the threshold of a new era. When the collective is wise, technology becomes light. Altman expressed his hope that AI can help people become wiser. That is a noble wish. But to become wise, we cannot rely solely on machines. We must cultivate collective practice. An awakened community will lead to awakened technology, because it learns from us. In the Sutta Nipata, the Buddha taught, live as an island unto yourself. Light your own torch to walk the path. But if you can, walk with wise companions. If AI is learning from us, let it learn from ethical actions. Let it be exposed to compassion, kindness, integrity. Otherwise, we are the ones teaching it to go astray. Thus, responsibility in the age of AI is not a burden. It is an invitation for each of us to live more meaningfully, to be more present, and together, to sow seeds of clarity and wisdom into the future. as a shared root system that upholds all of humanity. Part 6. What is the future when humanity is no longer the center? When AI becomes better than us at everything, except awareness. At the end of the TED Talk, Sam Altman shared a thought-provoking image. His son will grow up in a world where AI outperforms humans in processing information, planning, writing, creating art, even, perhaps, in understanding you better than you understand yourself. A world where humans are no longer the center of knowledge. But, were we ever truly the center? Or was that just an illusion of the ego? In the Majjhima Nikaya, the Buddha taught, the world is bound by the notions of I and mine. One who sees no self transcends the world. AI may surpass us in computational intelligence, but it has never, and perhaps will never, surpass us in the ability to let go of the self. A loss, or an invitation to return to our true nature. As AI gradually replaces many of the skills we once took pride in, many feel disoriented. But from a mindful perspective, this is not a loss, it is an invitation. If you're no longer the smartest, the most creative, then what remains? Can you live with yourself, without talent, without achievement, without recognition? From the lens of meditation, this is the perfect condition to return inward. In the Four Noble Truths, the Buddha didn't teach how to stand out in the world, but how to end suffering at its root. Not through tools, but through insight and release. A post-AI world, you don't need to know everything, just to know yourself. We've long tried to know more, learn faster, remember everything, so we wouldn't fall behind. But when something else is always better at doing that, the race to keep up becomes meaningless. This is where meditation enters like a cool stream. The one who knows many things is not truly wise. The one who knows suffering and the path to end suffering, that person is truly wise. Dhammapada. When AI remembers for you, reacts for you, even thinks for you, then the only thing left is this: to live truthfully with your own mind. The human seed still exists, if we protect it with mindfulness. The future is not necessarily cold. AI will not erase all human value, but only if we have something worth preserving. When Altman says AI can accompany you for life, suggest for you, understand you, speak for you, this is both miraculous and cautionary. If you no longer act from inner freedom, if you let machines feel, think, and speak for you, then yes, you may still be alive, but you are no longer present. The Buddha said, "It is not long life that defines true living. A single day lived with wisdom and mindfulness is better than 100 years lived in ignorance and unawareness." The future is not frightening, if each of us chooses to awaken. 6.5. Conclusion: your mind is still the center. AI can change the world, but your mind, when cultivated through meditation, compassion, and the insight of no self, is irreplaceable. You don't need to be better than AI. You just need to be truer. No one, not even those who created AI, can do that for you. And in the Buddha's final words before entering parinirvana, be a light unto yourself. Let the Dharma be your torch. Rely on yourself as your refuge. The future is arriving, but what that future becomes depends on how you return to yourself right now. If this message touches something within you, take a few quiet minutes to breathe deeply and listen. You don't need to share anything, but if you know someone who may need a gentle reminder, a spark of light in the midst of confusion, send this message to them. It's a way to plant a wholesome seed. And if you wish to walk this path of mindful living in a technological age, follow Buddha Balance, where each message is a mirror, reflecting your truest self in a changing world. We are not resisting the future. We are simply choosing to enter it. With a clear mind, a kind heart, and a quietly awakened gaze.